Alaikum everyone. My name is Huzaifah Ahmed and I am a student of Rehan School Korangi campus. Today my topic of discussion with ChatGPT is going to be understanding emotional intelligence, what it is and why it really matters. So let's start today's discussion. Hey ChatGPT, today I am going to discuss with you on the topic understanding emotional intelligence, what it is and why it really matters.
That sounds like a really interesting topic. Emotional intelligence, sometimes called EQ, basically refers to the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions, and also to perceive and influence others' emotions. And it matters because it impacts communication, leadership, relationships, and even mental health. What specifically are you curious about? Like how it's measured, how to build it, or how it plays out in everyday life?
Okay, you already defined it in a really short paragraph, but I want you to be more detailed about it and use easier English this time. And also tell me how is it different from regular intelligence, which is IQ?
Of course. So, emotional intelligence is basically about being smart with your feelings. It's the ability to notice what you're feeling, understand why you feel that way, and then handle your emotions in a good way. It also means being able to sense how other people are feeling and respond to them kindly and appropriately. Now, regular intelligence, often called IQ, is more about how well you solve problems, think logically, and process information. IQ is like being good at math or puzzles, while emotional intelligence is being good at understanding and dealing with emotions, yours and others. You can have a high IQ and still struggle with EQ, and that's why both matter in different ways in life.
Now I want you to tell me what are the core components of emotional intelligence and which one matters the most and why.
Yeah, absolutely. So, emotional intelligence is usually broken down into five core parts. First, there's self awareness, being able to recognize your own emotions. Second, self regulation, managing those emotions so they don't overwhelm you. Third, motivation, being driven by your inner goals, not just external rewards. Then there's empathy, understanding other people's feelings. And finally, social skills, being able to build good relationships and work well with others. Now, all of these are important, but a lot of people say that self awareness is the most crucial because if you don't know yourself, it's really hard to do the others. Once you understand yourself, you have a solid foundation to build the rest.
All right. Is emotional intelligence something you're born with or can it be developed over time?
That's a great question. So, while some people might have a natural inclination toward being more in tune with their emotions, emotional intelligence is definitely something you can grow through practice, like paying more attention to your feelings, reflecting on why you react a certain way, and learning how to pause before you respond. Your EQ can improve. So, it's a skill you build, not just a fixed trait.
All right, I want you to back up what you just said in any Islamic quote or something that you might have heard in a shortest way possible.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, there's a beautiful saying of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, when he said, "The strong person is not the one who overcomes others by physical power, but the one who controls himself when angry." So, this idea of self control and self awareness is really a key part of emotional intelligence, and it's something that's deeply valued in Islamic teachings.
Wow. Now, why do some highly intelligent people fail in life while emotionally intelligent people succeed? Like, what's the math behind it?
Yeah, that's a really interesting dynamic. So, IQ can definitely help you solve complex problems, but life success often depends on how you handle emotions, relationships, and setbacks. Emotional intelligence lets people navigate stress, work in teams, and bounce back from failure. In a way, EQ is like the glue that holds everything together. So you're more likely to adapt, stay motivated, and build strong networks, which are all big parts of long term success.
Okay, how does emotional intelligence affect your relationships, personal or professional? I want you to explain both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in personal relationships, emotional intelligence helps you understand your partner's or your friend's feelings, which makes you a better listener, more empathetic, and helps you resolve conflicts calmly. In a professional setting, EQ is crucial for teamwork, leadership, and communication. If you can read the room, respond to others with care, and keep calm under pressure, you build trust, collaboration, and a positive atmosphere. So, both kinds of relationships really thrive on EQ.
Okay, what does low emotional intelligence actually look like in everyday behavior and what's the fix?
Yeah, sure. So when someone has low emotional intelligence, they might struggle to recognize their own emotions or understand why they feel a certain way. They might also have trouble reading others, like missing cues when someone's upset, or they might react impulsively or lash out. The fix is really practice, paying attention to your feelings, reflecting on them, and getting feedback from others. Some people even work with coaches or do mindfulness exercises to build these skills over time.
How does emotional intelligence connect to leadership? Can you be a great leader without it, or is it compulsory for a great leader to have a good emotional intelligence?
That's a key question. Emotional intelligence is really fundamental to great leadership. It helps leaders understand and inspire their teams, build trust, and navigate tough situations with empathy. While you might see some leaders succeed with just technical skills or charisma, the best, most respected leaders have strong EQ. It's really what allows them to motivate, connect, and guide others effectively. So, in most cases, it's pretty essential.
Can emotional intelligence be measured? And if so, how accurate are those tests?
Yeah, it can be measured. There are formal assessments like the EQI, Emotional Quotient Inventory, or the MSCEIT, Mayer Salave Caruso Emotional Intelligence Test. These tests look at things like how well you recognize emotions, manage them, and understand social cues. Now, they're useful, but they're not perfect. They rely on self reporting or problem solving, so they can miss some subtle aspects. Still, they give you a good starting point to understand your EQ strengths and areas to grow.
Does a normal person give this test through the internet, or is it compulsory for him to go there physically?
Oh, great question. So, most of these tests can actually be taken online now. Many platforms let you do them from home, usually through a secure website. Sometimes, if it's for a job or a formal development program, you might do it with a proctor or through a professional service. But for personal growth, yes, many are available online, which makes them super accessible.
Okay, now let's go towards the fixes now. What are the most practical ways someone can improve their emotional intelligence?
Yeah, definitely. So, some practical ways are first, start with mindfulness. Pay attention to your emotions as they come up without judging them. Second, practice active listening. Really focus on what others are saying and how they feel. Third, reflect regularly. Maybe keep a journal to track your emotional responses and see patterns. And seek feedback. Ask trusted friends or colleagues how you come across and where you might improve. Over time, these habits really help you get better at understanding and managing emotions.
Okay, now to conclude everything, I want you to tell me what's one small, teeny tiny habit someone can build today to become more emotionally intelligent.
I love that. So, a tiny habit you can start today is just taking a 1 minute pause after a strong emotion. Like before reacting, just take a breath, name the emotion, and decide how you want to respond. That small pause builds self awareness, and from there, the rest of your EQ skills will grow naturally.
All right, thank you everyone. This was my end of discussion with ChatGPT. I hope you liked it. I liked it too. Until the next task, Allah Hafiz.